Good to go.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, welcome everybody to the Friday Tech Talk at the Tech Academy. This week we are joined by recruiter Michael McCormack from Edgelink, and he's going to be sharing two really important aspects of the job search process, which are networking and effective communication. He gave a great talk last time, so we're really excited. Keep an eye on the chat box. He's going to be posting questions at various points along the talk in there. So feel free to respond in there. And thank you so much for being here, Michael. I'll let you take it away.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. So I'd like to kind of start this off with an exercise. And it looks like we got about 20 people in this thing. So we might turn this into a dialogue driven, kind of you guys can ask questions throughout the process. So I'll kind of, as we're going, I'll ask if people have questions throughout it. We'll probably be, I'd say we can probably get through this in like 30 to 45 minutes. So I guess the first thing that I want everybody to kind of do is, if you're able, just jot it down on paper or in a Word doc or whatever, and basically take 1 minute, and I want you to list as many names of people in your network that you feel comfortable asking for a referral from. So take that down if you can. About 15 seconds or so. Okay, cool. All right, so and this is kind of hard. Like, this is something that we usually do like in a in-person setting, but I think we can kind of figure it out here. So I don't know, just by like a raise of hand, how many of you do the raise of hand in the chat box? How many of you had over 3 names on your list? Perfect. Okay. All right. Anybody have 5 names? Okay. 7 names? Okay. And then I guess the last question I have here is, of all those names that you have on there, how many of you have utilized those people as actual referrals? And you're going to say yay or nay in the chat box. Yes, yeah, within the last year is good, Sarah. Thank you for that. Okay. Good. Anybody do over 4 of those names? 2? Okay. And from that, of those referrals, how many of them actually turned into something that benefits you? Anybody have a benefit from that? 1, okay. So cloud engineer, since you answered that question, if you don't mind talking to the group real quick, what kind of referral did you ask for, and how did that referral benefit you?
Yes, I actually just kind of put out a SOS to some friends because I was having trouble with my current position. One of them referred me to someone, and it was actually a perfect fit for a new position. So I'll be able to start with them as a 1099 until I get certified, and then I can go on board with them.
Awesome. Good for you. Anybody else have a story like that to share? Okay.
I don't know if it exactly relates, but through giving these tech talks and actually teaching some of my free classes, I've had people refer me to job openings, say that they work in HR and would put in a good word for me, things like that. So being open to connections, even in places that you don't expect them, because not everyone that takes the free intro class is new to coding. They might just be wanting to learn a new language and already be employed in IT. And so connections in that way as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to add to that. This is Cloud Engineer. The person who referred me is actually an owner of a karate studio, and he had a friend in IT for a really good firm.
There you go. So someone who's not even in IT, right? And that's kind of the big thing about technology is technology has basically taken over our world. And it doesn't matter if somebody's coming from a karate studio or a grocery store, or, you know, maybe you go get your drinks or your beers or whatever from the local store down the road. Everybody has some sort of connection to something in technology. And that's the way the world works. I mean, here in Portland alone, I mean, I don't think you can talk to anybody in the streets or anywhere who doesn't know somebody in tech. So really, you know, how do you go about getting referrals? So the biggest thing is like starting with a list of trusted people, right? Like we just did. So, I mean, you know, brainstorming, like really thinking about who do I know, who I would feel comfortable talking to or asking for a referral from. I think the big thing is making sure that you are asking people that have large networks and are connectors in the tech community. I think, I mean, you can ask anybody for a referral, but to really get to where you want to make sure that your connector is somebody who is connected in the community, has some kind of pull within it. And another big thing that I have found with referrals is that the people that you are asking, you want to make sure that these are people who are going to say yes to you. The strength of the relationship with that person will correlate to the strength of the referral given. And so, like, you know, I think one great way of making sure that this person is going to say yes to you is maybe you've done something for them in the past to help them, right? Help me, help you, is a good kind of foundation for how to get the best referrals. There's really two ways you can go about getting referrals. You know, approaching the connector, and I call a connector as the person who's going to give you the referral to. So the connector is someone who has those connections and can point you in the right direction. So approaching your connector and mentioning a reference point through the research. So this is like the importance of having a good elevator speech, or, you know, a 30-minute or a 30-second kind of, this is what I want, this is what I'm doing, who you are, and what your end goal is, why you're asking for the referral. And then asking people in your network for a personal introduction to someone within their network. Be prepared. Be sure to state why you want the referral. So if you're looking for a web dev job, or you're looking for an in to get into a tech company, or whatever you're doing, make sure you are explaining exactly what you want. So when that referral or that connector is making the connection to the referral, they don't have to be like, oh, what do they want from me? What do they want? Make sure you're selling yourself really well to that connector so they can be concise with their message to the individual. So first and foremost, when I'm asking for a referral, so like my business is, I mean, 90% of the business I'm getting is really from some sort of connector, some sort of referral, something that, you know, really kind of drives that relationship. So I never ask the question of who in your network do you know could use a web developer, engineer, or your expertise. I never ask that who in your network verbiage. The reasons why is I feel like it's impersonal, right? We want strong referrals that are going to give us great long-term relationships or business or whatever you're looking for. And by asking who in your network question, it's very open-ended. It makes them think. They might not give you the exact referral that you're looking for. They might not get back to you. There's a lot of just little things when you say who in your network. It makes them think. But if you're concise with it, it really kind of feels very personal, right? People want to have that personal relationship or that personal connection. So they want to help people. I mean, I know for myself, like my biggest thing in my business, in my life, with my family, kids, with my friends, I want people to, one, like me. And I, secondly, want people to feel that I am truly wanting to help them, right? I want to help people. That's my life. I want to help people. And the who in your network question is one where the connector can be like, okay, they just want something from me. But if you're very personalized with it, that's where these connections and referrals really can take your career or take what you're wanting to the next level. So timing and presentation are everything. You got to ask yourself, what have I done for this person? How have I helped them? You know, did I deliver on a project? Did I help their family? Is there something there that I've done? And not necessarily like, you're not trying to be like, hey, I helped you do this, and so you owe me this. You don't ever need to mention that. The biggest thing is that you've helped this person do something that, without you even telling them that you helped them, they know that they owe you, right? I mean, I think that's the best way, is like, don't make them feel bad about it, but do it in a way of like, they probably do owe me. Secondly is, have you developed a relationship with the person both on a personal and professional level? I know with a lot of my clients, a lot of my candidates, I mean, people that I'm working with, it usually starts professional, but it turns into like knowing who they are and what they like to do and what they do on the weekends and what their family looks like and where they, you know, and that's really where these referrals come into that note. I mean, a lot of referrals are either going to start from a personal connection or a professional connection. And you want to kind of combine those two. When you look and ask for the referral, you want to make sure that it really is going to benefit you. There's growth value. We don't want to ask for referrals of people and orgs that really have no outreach or network, or, you know, we want to make sure that we're using our time wisely. We're not wasting anybody else's time. We're prepared, because if you're going to go ask for a referral for a web dev job or a cloud engineer job or whatever you're looking for, you want to make sure you're prepared for it. Because if you're going to ask for a referral, you can expect something like, okay, yeah, they're going to set up a call with you. Be prepared. So if you're asking for something that you might not have like a lot of expertise in or something, it's not the best time to ask for a referral, because if you get that referral, now that person that you asked for, the connector, is vouching for you, right? So you don't want to make them look bad. And always be confident, right? Be confident in everything you do. Be confident in your ask. So if this person has such a, you know, has had a great professional or personal experience with you, then they would expect you to give that same experience to the person they refer you to, right? So always stay professional. You know, make sure you obviously give a lot of thanks and you're very appreciative for everything they do for you. But be confident. Like, make sure you know what you are asking for has an end result and why you are actually asking that person for the referral. Being specific in your ask, whether it is a specific person, company, skill set you're seeking, be sure to have a why behind the reason you're asking for the referral. Be compelling. You know, like maybe you're asking for, you know, a connector has a connection to a job or a company that you want to go work for. Maybe that company has a lot of jobs open or in growth mode, have a lot of projects happening. You want to make sure you ask your connector to make that introduction for you and make sure it's personalized. So personally, when I'm making a referral or I'm asking for a referral, I try to do the legwork, right? I'm doing the legwork. So I'm going to write them a script and I'm going to say, okay, well, you know, I'm asking you, my connector, for this referral. This is kind of what I was thinking, and I can write this out for you. You know, I've known Michael on a personal level for quite some time, and I vouch for his work ethic and ability to learn new things on the fly. He made a career transition last year into software development and is now looking for his first professional role. Can I connect him with you to discuss his career? Very, like, it's professional, but it's easy, right? I'm not asking for a job. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just asking for a little bit of time. And I'm asking for like an informational interview. I know for myself, like, I'm a pretty confident person. I know that when I get in front of people that I don't know, I feel comfortable doing it and have a conversation with them. And that's a big thing. Confidence and the way you speak go a very long way. And if you're prepared for some sort of informational conversation with somebody that has some power, you got to make sure you're presenting yourself in that right way, right? You don't want to be wasting their time. Another good script is Michael did some work for us last month and we were impressed with the finished product. So maybe you helped out with like a freelance project, or you built a website for somebody, or those are the great ones for people, you know, that are in this position like you guys are. You know, think about what you've done for people and then ask for that referral. And then they can vouch for your excellent work. And I think it'd be a valuable resource for your company. Can I make an intro? We're not asking for a job. We're not asking for anything. We're just asking for an introduction, right? That's what the connector to the referral is just an introduction. Everything else is up to you, right? You're just asking for the intro, and now it's game time. It's time to show what you're worth, and you have that connection. how to find people that want to be referred to you. And if I'm going too fast or anything, I mean, we'll definitely send this presentation off to everybody so you can go through it all. But if I am going too fast, or if anybody does have a question while I'm going here, just pop a message into the thing and say, hey, can you stop real quick? I have a question. I won't be offended by it. But how to find people that you want to be referred to. And I kind of touched on this my last presentation that I did for the group a few months ago. And I still think that LinkedIn is the #1 professional way to go about finding connectors. So, I mean, I hope everybody's on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, build out a LinkedIn profile. Like, make your LinkedIn everything you are. And I think, like, by posting relevant stuff to your career, posting relevant stuff to what's going on in the tech world, make your LinkedIn presence just like any other presence. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, a lot of people are on this stuff, and what you do and how you post, treat LinkedIn as any other social network platform, right? It is a place where people are going to see where you are. Another way to go to LinkedIn is, like, when you do get on LinkedIn, like, just connect with everybody you want to connect with, right? People usually, will connect with people in the community, tech community especially. And so always try to connect and build that network on LinkedIn. And then when you're doing this, you're going to look at their connections, look for leadership titles within IT, engineering, DevOps, infrastructure, whatever it might be you're after. That's where you're going to go with. I am going to, can I switch screens here? I think I can. I'm going to stop presenting real quick. And then
yeah, you can either stop presenting, and then sometimes if you have the tab setting and you move to another tab, a little tiny tab with a blue thing saying switch will pop up. So I'm not sure what it looks like on your end, but you can look out for that too.
All right. Can you see my LinkedIn?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. So if I go to my profile here, I can go into my profile and I can go into my connections, and I look at my connections, and now I'm into my connections. So I can look by first and second people, and I'm going to go, let's say VP title. And within my connections, I have first and seconds on here. And let's say I'm going after Curaleaf. That's a perfect thing. So Curaleaf is a tech company out of Colorado. This guy's the VP of operations. I know he's going to be decision maker for my business. I want to connect with him. He's able to have some sort of clout in what I'm after for business. I know Michael Wasson is a shared connection. I'm going to go to Michael Wasson and I'm going to say, hey, Michael, I saw that you're connected to Sven Martinson over at Curaleaf. How well do you know him? Well, Michael's going to get back to me and tell, yeah, I know this and this. And then I'm going to ask him, how comfortable do you feel giving a referral? I'm very interested in learning more about their company. Do you feel comfortable making a referral? And that's it, right? And that's basically how I go about getting referrals, is just looking through my network and finding out who's where. If I really want to get personal with it, I'll get rid of the second and I'll go VP search again. And these are all going to be my first. So my first connection, Daryl Nicholson. Daryl Nicholson is a VP here in Portland for LegitScript. Him and I have 17 shared connections. Now, Daryl was the VP of engineering for one of our larger clients here, but Daryl and I never really worked together. And then he moved. He was at Jan Rain for a long time, who was our client, and he moved over to LegitScript. Well, I can't get into LegitScript. Like, I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I can't. So I'm going to look at my shared connections and I'm going to find who, like, my #1 person is. Like, who of those 17 people do I feel like I have a strong relationship with that I can ask for that referral from? Well, I know Carol Ward, who I've worked with for 4 years now on 2 different companies and placed over 40 people with her companies. I know that Carol will always advocate for me. She's always going to advocate for me. So I'm going to go to Carol. I'm going to say, Carol, you worked with Daryl. Daryl and I never worked together. He knows of me. Can you make that referral? And then I'll write her a script. She'll say yes to me. I know she'll always say yes to me. I could ask her for anything. I know she'll say yes to me no matter what, because of the work I've done for her in the past. So having that LinkedIn presence and not being afraid to ask for it, right? But you go through those connectors, and I mean, the first person connector is always the best. These first person connectors are people that I talk with at least once or twice a year, have a good relationship with. But that's the best way to go about doing it. Does anybody have any questions on LinkedIn while we're here? I mean, you can just speak up if you'd like.
So you were talking about getting a referral from the person that you didn't actually know. So that would be like a more informal introduction type thing. Would you also, is there a way that you can look at that second connection person and see if you have any first connections with them to get that first introduction?
So are you going back to my first example?
Yeah.
So yeah, so my first example, so that's what that connector is. So I was looking at, let's go back one more.
I think you need to add second connection. Yep. Yeah.
Thank you. So Sven Martinson, right? He's my second. So Michael Wasson is my first, and he's Sven's first. So that's what these are. So these are first connections. So that's how he's a second to me on LinkedIn, is Michael's a first connection to me, and he's a first connection to Sven.
Great. Okay. So you would sometimes just reach out to people that you haven't met personally for a referral?
No, I won't, because I know Michael. So Michael's my connector, right? So Michael's going to be my connector to the referred person. I'm trying to get in with Sven. I'm trying to get a half an hour appointment with Sven, and I know my best way is to go through Michael because we're connected. Now, when you're doing second connections, you always want to ask your first, who's Michael in this case. You just ask, hey, Michael, saw that you're connected to Sven Martinson. How well do you know him? And then Michael will tell me, yeah, I know him, work together on this project. Do you feel comfortable enough where you can make a referral, right? So that's kind of how that conversation would go.
Thanks for clearing that up for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do also see in the chat box that Eamon asked if LinkedIn Premium is essential for this.
No, it is not. Not at all. Yeah, you don't need anything with the premium. You don't need to use the paid subscription. You do not need that. I mean, the stuff that I'm showing you right here is just bones LinkedIn. Everybody has access to this. Any other questions about LinkedIn or how to use it? Or, I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there who are in the situation where most of you are, where you're looking for a job, you're making that career transition, you just finished boot camp, you're trying to get in. LinkedIn is going to be your ticket to everything that you ever want for your career. And I cannot express enough how important it is to have a good presence, to really start connecting with people. You talk about a list that we did that exercise at the very beginning, like list out a list of 50 people you want to connect with on LinkedIn. Find those people on LinkedIn, connect with them, and build your network from there. Good? Anything else on LinkedIn? Okay. I will stop presenting and I will go back to this and back onto the presentation. Good? Yeah?
Looks good.
Okay. And so what I was just talking about, ask your connection about their relationship with that person if they wouldn't mind making an introduction in your path, right? And when you ask for that, you could tell them, I just graduated from boot camp and I'm looking for my first opportunity. I saw that their company is hiring entry-level web developers or entry-level cloud engineers or right? Have a reason why you're asking for that introduction. And then talk about the LinkedIn presence, job boards, right? So like finding jobs, like right now, I've been in this industry for 4 years. I've been in software sales. I've had like 5 jobs in my career, and I've been in my career for going on 16 years now. I know for myself, if I was ever to go look for a job, I never will, but if I was ever going to, this is where I would start. And I would kind of pinpoint the companies that I want to go work for. Who do I want to go work for? What intrigues me? What do I want to go do? So searching job boards is really effective. Like I work out of the Colorado market, even though I live in Portland, I work in the Denver market. But these websites, portlandtech.org and builtincolorado.com, they basically have every tech job in the entire market there. You can do searches on entry-level jobs, whatever kind of job you want, go to it. So I think a lot of people are in the Portland market. Is that right from this, or is that correct? Yeah. So whatever. Cool. Yeah, whatever market you're in, there's some sort of job board in that market that will give you every job live of what's happening. So find that and then know what you're looking for. So find companies within your target market. I want to work for a startup. I want to work for a company under 300 people, maybe SaaS, cloud, whatever it is. Find those jobs and then connect the dots. So I'm going to go search for a job. I found the job. I'm going to find out who the hiring manager is. So the way you find out who a hiring manager is let's say you're a mobile engineer and you find an entry-level mobile engineering job at company X. Well, then go to LinkedIn, search that company, find the mobile engineering manager. If you can't find the mobile engineering manager, just find the engineering manager. Now, the engineering manager is the person you want to be referred to. Find that person on LinkedIn, see what connections you have in common, and then reach out to the connector in common for that referral. So it takes a little bit of legwork, right? But like I was talking about, this is the most competitive market in tech that we've seen in a long time. I mean, tech's been booming for 20 years. Right now is the most competitive market. Last year, a lot of really good engineers were laid off due to COVID. A lot of good engineers were on the market. Now your competition has really stepped up. So like you really need to set yourself apart. So doing the research, really digging into jobs and then kind of cross-referencing back to LinkedIn. And by doing this, it shows that you're doing your homework. It shows that you're doing something that you really want to drive your career. Adam, you asked a great question. So what if I have no connections to engineering managers? I don't know how many people you are connected to on LinkedIn. So if you don't have any, just go find some. Go connect with them on LinkedIn. And by looking at your second connections, the second connections are the big ones. If they're a second connection to you, that means that they share a first connection with you, right? So you have 50 connections on LinkedIn. 50, I would try to get that number. In the next week, I would focus on trying to get that to 200. And you can do it just like that. It takes a few hours to make it happen, but really look who you're trying to connect with. You're trying to connect with engineering managers. You're trying to connect with VPs, directors, decision makers at tech companies. That's okay. That doesn't matter. I have 826 connections on my LinkedIn right now, or maybe even more than that. I probably really only know about 300 of them. You don't need to maintain those relationships either. The world is flooded with social media, right? You look at like anybody who's famous and they have 5 million viewers or 5 million followers. They only know probably about 100 of them. It doesn't matter. All you need to do is make yourself present, right? It's just about making yourself present. And the more you post on LinkedIn, the more you make yourself available, people see your name, whatever it is, the whole point is to make yourself present, right? Be a TikToker. It doesn't matter. Make yourself present and make that happen. I think when you go to LinkedIn, you have to go through your second connections because that's who you're going to connect with. So as you connect to a second, that means they have a shared first with you. When you have a shared first, now you can ask your first connection for a referral to that second connection. You don't need to know people. 50 people, Adam, I don't know you, but I bet you of those 50 people, if you did a search on those 50 people, you could find somebody they're connected to by using that second search, like second connection search. I guarantee you of those 50 people, at least 10 of them have some sort of connection to a software engineering manager, some sort of VP, some sort of director. There's someone out there who's connected to those 50, who's a decision maker who can help you with your career. It's really, connections do count. The connections do count. Trust me. It might not be every connection, but it just takes a little bit of legwork to really try to find that referral. And I mean, I've truly built my business and everything that I've ever done in my professional career based on connections. It's just how it works. I mean, somebody knows somebody who knows somebody, and that's just the way it is. Especially like in a market like Portland, where it's smaller, you can always find and just keep digging. Right? It's at 6 degrees. Like you just keep digging and digging and digging until you get to where you want to go. So it could be a former colleague. Ask your connector about the relationships. We talked about that. Company and contact you've been targeting forever, but you can't break through. Utilize LinkedIn to find common connections, find out where they worked previously, see what groups are actively involved in. Adam, I get where you're going, man. You're trying to bust it, but Adam, I promise you, you know people. You got 50 connections, man. I promise you, you will be able to find somebody. It just takes a little bit of work and research on your behalf. If you're willing to go sit down for like 2 or 3 hours and just dig through LinkedIn and try to find those people, I guarantee you can do it. Alternatives to colleagues is, I don't know, college, high school, parents, friends. I mean, Adam, I bet you know more than 50 people. Just go find those people that you haven't talked to in 5-10 years. Go find the people that you were friends with in high school and you haven't talked to them. Just go find those people, right? You're not raining on my parade. Don't worry, man. I'm just letting you know, like, I know from my high school, like, 20 something years ago, there's a lot of people that I was really good friends with and I haven't talked to forever. And if I sent them a connection on LinkedIn, they would be so excited. Like, oh man, I haven't heard from Michael forever. That's awesome. They'll connect with you right away. So Adam, it sounds like a you problem, buddy. You'll be all right, man. You can find it. You can find it. Trust me. Just takes work. So here's a referral success story. So so even though I do a lot of recruiting, my business is driven by clients, right? The more clients I have, the more opportunity I have to get people jobs. So business development, I was working on this group called JanRain. I was doing a lot of outreach. I did 11 outreach to their HR and engineering department, and I just couldn't break through. I finally said, okay, I got to go find a referral target. Their CFO, his name is Martin Day. I had a relationship with him. He grew up with my older brothers. I didn't really know him very well, but he knows my name, and which is really all that matters. So I have the personal connection and I researched the pain. So I've been reaching out to this company forever, right? Month after month, I cannot get a hold of them. I just decided to reach out to Martin on a whim. And I said, Martin, unsure if you remember me, but I am the second youngest brother of McCormack boys from the good old Lakeridge days. I work with Mike Miotich and Dane Walker, now Edgelink. So that's the connection. So Mike Miotich and Dane Walker work with me at Edgelink, and they went to high school with Martin. I read about JanRain's growth in the Portland Business Journal today. It's really cool stuff. Do you know if it's in JanRain's interest to use external agencies when it comes to recruiting for top engineering talent? I know that they receive a ton of applicants, and that can be quite time consuming. He wrote back to me right away, says, Michael, thanks for reaching out. I forwarded your email to our HR and engineering folks, and we'll let them get back to them with their needs. Say hi to your folks and your brothers for me, and say hi to the Edgelink alums. Sounds like you guys are doing well. He got back to me right away. I haven't talked to this guy in 35 years. I made the connection. Him and I really don't know each other very well. Well, he's the CFO of this company. When the CFO talks, people listen. He made that introduction, and the results were, I got a meeting with him, met with their VP of HR within a week of an intro, and in 1 year's time of making that introduction, we made 8 placements for their company. Same thing here. Like, I did the same exact thing. Just trying to do all these reach outs, was getting nowhere. I finally said, forget it. I'm gonna have a target. I targeted the CFO. She had no idea who I was, but I knew that she was friends with the people from JanRain, the previous example. And I just went out and reached out to her, and I just said, hey, got your name from Carol Ward. We've done some work with JanRain. Would love to know. Basically, that started it, right? I'm just making those connections and essentially just putting myself out there, right? The worst that someone's going to do is say no. Who cares? No is a great answer. At least you're getting somewhere with it. That's the big deal. 49 Commander, I've connected with people from high school that I didn't even like, but they have changed since then. So don't miss. It's exactly right. It's exactly right. You never know. People grow up, people change, they mature, they get into it. Just, you got to put yourself out there, right? That's the biggest thing about referrals and networking, and you have nothing to lose. I think that's the biggest reason why people don't use their network, or they don't go get referrals, or they don't do this, is because they're just scared of being told no. Well, no is better than just sitting on the sidelines, especially in a competitive market like this, right? When you're in a competitive market, you have to go do everything you can. And if it's embarrassing, if it's like, if you're scared of a no answer, if you might be an introvert, you just don't want to do that, you don't want to trouble people, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Here's some stuff for you guys to look at. Like, 92% of consumers trust referrals from people they know. People are 4 times more likely to buy when referred from a friend. 77% of consumers are more likely to buy a new product or service when learning about it from a referral. And remember, you are the product, right? You're the product. 84% of consumers say they trust recommendations when they are on a referral basis. Referrals are everything you can get, right? It's everything in your business, for your professional, for your personal, like everything. You know, if you don't know very many people, it's okay. It's okay. You just got to put yourself out there. That is the end of that. So I'm going to open this back up here and get here. Adam, so when you're in a competitive market as entry-level talent, shouldn't you go to graduate school instead of waiting until the market improves? I disagree with that. Yes, you can go do that and do what, you know, you go spend more money on school or whatever you want to do. Personally, when companies are hiring, they're hiring the person, right? I mean, skill's important. I don't know, Adam, what do you do? What's your skill set? What kind of job are you looking for? You can talk to if you want to talk on here. Or machine learning and biotech. Awesome. Entry level. I would assume it's entry level. You have 2 things going for you. One, nearly, I don't know, I think it's like 81% of companies have gone to a remote model or some sort of hybrid model. So you have more opportunity across the United States. So don't just stay in your market, do a full outreach across all 50 states, right? You're going to open that up to where you are. Now, when you do that, the LinkedIn connections, they're probably going to be scarce, but at the same time, there's always some sort of connection with where you want to go. There's always some sort of connection. Adam, you got Pi data. I mean, that stuff is like, it's gold. If you're good at it and you can do it, I don't know if you guys all use a GitHub or some sort of other repository where your stuff can be in an open source and you can share it with people. It's also, it's a good thing to do. So when you go, like, I don't know how many people use GitHub, but I would use GitHub as much as you can. Get your code out there, get your source out there, everything you've done, and share it with people, right? Share what you've done, share your achievements, share what you have. And just by writing an engineering manager or a hiring manager, you say, hey, my name's Adam. I'm just trying to break into the biotech industry as a machine learning engineer. You know, I'm not asking for too much. I would just want you to take a look at my code, take a look at my GitHub, take a look at my portfolio, take a look at something. Give them something to look at that might intrigue them. Questions? Any other questions?
Well, Michael, I'd like to put out that a really good way to get connections is through meetups. So if you're in the tech industry, you go to meetup.com. There's lots listed there. But going to the meetups, I know a lot are still virtual right now, but you can meet and connect with a lot of people in the industry through the meetups.
Absolutely. And they're starting to open up a little bit more. And I think people are ready to get out there, right? People are ready to go out and do things. And the meetup is huge. I know we've done a ton of stuff through Meetup. We host pre-pandemic. We hosted some stuff at our office. Yeah, just anything you can. I mean, the biggest thing is put yourself out there, right? Put yourself out there. I'm going to ask a question to the group, and if somebody wants to say, like, what has been the biggest challenge for you trying to find a new job? Anybody? Anybody want that?
Maybe assessing the inclusivity of everything that's starting to take place, the inclusiveness.
That's been the struggle.
When assessing the types of jobs, yes,
Okay.
that may draw interest.
Okay, so you're looking for a diverse, inclusive company, right? Is that what your target is?
Well, no, I'm actually just noticing the differences, and I think that there's a pretty good push behind that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's a huge push for it, and that's something that taking advantage of it. People, companies, they're looking for diverse. They're looking for inclusiveness. They're looking for something that really kind of helps them set themselves apart in the market. I mean, that's a big thing right now. Most companies that I'm coming across, that's their number one objective when they're trying to make a hire. Right? It's the number one objective is to get more diverse, to give themselves something in the market that is showing people like, hey, we are trying, we're doing our best to make our point. Another big one is like sustainability companies that are trying to make a difference in the world. Like, I mean, that's a big thing, right? Maybe it's not like something that you have experience in, but you actually care. Tell your story to people. Everybody's email address is out there, right? You can always email people. It's easy to find email addresses. Just, but like the point is, put yourself out there. You're never going to know unless you don't try. Adam, I really appreciate your stuff here. Adam, I'm gonna connect with you on LinkedIn, and you and I are gonna talk about this stuff, man. I think are you saying you don't have the skills, or are they telling you they don't have? Are they telling you that? If they're telling you they don't have the skills, then they're blind to it, right? And that's where I'm saying, like, you have to share your portfolio, or you have to share your code, or you have to share some sort of an example of what you're doing and why they should hire you. And so from a perspective of, you don't need to know anybody. You have to make it happen, right? I mean, that's the number one thing when you're trying to find a job. You have to make it happen. It's going to happen. You can't, I mean, it can be defeating at times, but you're going to find that opportunity. You just have to keep grinding at it. It basically, finding a job should be a full-time job. And that's the bottom line. Finding a job is a full-time job, and it shouldn't matter about pay. It shouldn't matter about what you need. Like, find out how much you need to make ends meet and go for it. Getting an interview, even a phone interview, Corey, is that how you say it? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I think getting an interview, even a phone interview, it's extremely hard, but somehow, some way, you have to set yourself apart, like doing outreaches, shooting an email, shooting a message, finding a connector. You just got to put yourself out there, and it's okay. Like, let's say you're trying to find a job and you found a company that you really want to go work for. I'll tell you what, you shouldn't email to that hiring manager every day until they tell you no, right? Be persistent, be annoying, do it professionally, but be annoying, be persistent, make them to make you say no, right? Make them say no to you. Once they say no to you, then you get off it. But if they're not getting back to you, if nobody's even calling back to you, big deal. Maybe they didn't see the email. Maybe they just they don't want you, but make them say no. Make people say no to you. If they're going dark on you with no message back, just keep going at them until they tell you no. Not using problem solving skills on my resume. I have learned a ton through the detailed job placement course at the Tech Academy. Are you saying, 49 Commander, that you don't use problem solving skills on your resume, or what exactly does that mean? Okay. How do you portray that? I mean, you want to unmute real quick if you can? I'd like to talk about that.
Yeah, I was putting a lot of my skills in the wrong part of my resume. Really, instead of putting things that I had done in better form in other areas, in a cover letter or such that, or LinkedIn or whatever, I had a lot of it in the education part. And so since going through a lot of the steps I'm going through in the job placement stuff, I've learned that I've got a lot of things that I'm not advertising or weren't advertising very well. So getting those things where they need to be and stated correctly, I think is making a big difference in people noticing stuff already. So
Yeah, when you're writing a resume, like you have to grab the attention, right? I mean, they're going like these hiring managers are looking at like 200 resumes and they're just going through and how are you going to set yourself apart? Like I found that by doing research, like you can have like 50 different resumes, right? You can have so many different resumes. Always make your resume adjustable and adapt to what they're looking for. Maybe you do a little research on that hiring manager, find out where they went to school, find out, you know, what they like to do, find some sort of common connection, put that on your resume, put that on your cover letter, put something on there that's like, oh, wow, this guy likes to go biking, or maybe they like to go hiking, or some like avid hiker, right? It has nothing to do with your skills as a technical person, but it's an attention grabber to somebody who likes to do the same stuff. I know for myself, like I'm a huge sports person, right? I use sports as my like number one connector. And I just do the research, right? And that stuff's all on LinkedIn. There's LinkedIn, Instagram. I mean, you have to be a little bit creepy sometimes, and it's okay to be a little creepy. Like go find who your target audience is, find out what you have in connection with them, put that on your resume, put that on your cover letter, make them see that, right? And I think that's a great approach to it. Because the worst they can do is say no, right? The worst they can do is say no. But if you put something on there that kind of resonates with them, that's a big deal. I know for myself, I want to work with like-minded people. I want to work with people who are like me, who have the same interests as me. I mean, I think everybody does, right? Now you're not just talking about work, you're talking about life. And that's that personal / professional relationship. That's where that builds from.
Yeah, Michael, I've reached out to someone in a meme sharing group on Facebook. I first clicked on his profile because I thought he was attractive. And then I saw that he was a software engineer at a self-driving car company. So I actually reached out to him about that, seeing if he could connect me to anyone that would give a tech talk from their company, which I haven't been able to successfully do yet, but I'm still working on it.
Reach out to their marketing folks.
Yeah.
Like,
I got to them. They just weren't interested at this point,
No?
but I'm going to reach out again.
What company is that?
I think it was ZooX,
Where are they based out of?
California.
Okay.
He gave me the name of
ZOOX?
ZOOX. I think he
Okay.
gave me the name of another company as well. I just have to look back on that message thread.
Okay.
But even though my original intent was creepy, I did not act creepy in my ask.
Yeah, what we say and what we think are two totally different things. So it's okay.
And
All that
I prefaced it with like, sorry if this is out of the blue. If you're not interested in talking about this, let me know. And, you know, he was very receptive to the conversation.
Yeah. Posting on Facebook depends on what you're posting, right? And it depends on who your network is. I mean, Facebook is kind of like very much in your group, right? The people who are going to see it on Facebook are the people in your group. I think you could post anything, right? I think if you have something to say about yourself, like promote yourself, do research on what you're doing. 49 Commander, what do you do? What kind of job are you looking for?
well, what I'm looking for is opportunity. Well, basically something in software development.
What
So,
tech stack?
Python, C#, you know,
Okay.
database, you know, combing, that kind of stuff. My prior career was in engineering, and kind of what drove me to this was the frustration with so much of the software that we worked with that wasn't providing us with the information that we needed the way we needed it. And the amount of wasted time that we would spend, you know, taking data dumps and doing crazy things in Excel to, you know, manipulate stuff, and spending hours doing something that should take 30 seconds.
What kind of engineering? Civil engineering? What?
Mechanical engineering.
And are those the kind of companies that you're applying to?
I'm really just starting to apply now for the tech stuff because I just got to that part.
Tech stuff within mechanical engineering?
I'm not necessarily stuck in mechanical engineering, but anywhere that just say that anything that sounds kind of interesting that needs problem-solving skills as well as computer programming skills.
So, and I don't mean to, like kind of use you as an example, right?
No, that's fine.
So that's a very general statement, right? Because that's what everybody's looking for, right?
Sure.
So if I'm you, I am going to do a Google search on data science jobs, mechanical engineering companies, and just throw that out there and go find. There are so many mechanical engineering companies that need this kind of work right now, just based on automation and, you know, connecting devices and all this stuff. That's the way the mechanical engineering's gone, right? Connected devices, IoT.
Yeah.
There are, I would say there's probably, I don't know, 500-600 jobs out there in mechanical engineering within data science, right? So use your past experience, go apply to those jobs, tell them your story. This is the reason why I moved from mechanical engineering to data science. And it was just frustrating. All these processes. Tell them your story, right? Let them know. And that would be my cover letter if I was you. Make it succinct, make it specific. I think you can go find a job out there. I mean, honestly, you have a good story, you have a good background, and you have the knowledge from not only the core business, but now you have the knowledge of what it can do to help the core business. And that's the way I would go with that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else have any questions or anything?
Well, one thing, Michael, when somebody who's just graduating a boot camp or even maybe a university with a computer degree or software development degree, what are the steps when they come to a recruiter? What is the experience like for somebody new to the industry?
So it really depends. So like our firm, I think I've explained this in my other talk with you all. So we really, our focus is like senior principal level engineering. So, but there are other firms out there like Robert Half and like these larger firms, Tech Systems and IT Motives, like these larger companies, the recruiting companies, they have outreach to like 2,000 jobs. Whereas our company, we're working like on 80 jobs. That's the recruiting firms that you want to go after. Recruiters want to help people, at least they should want to help people. Find a recruiter from one of those very large national reach firms, shoot them a message on LinkedIn, shoot them your resume, shoot them an email, do something, connect with a recruiter from one of those larger firms and just ask them if they have 15 minutes of their time to talk. That's the way to start that relationship. Those larger firms, they are dealing with hundreds and hundreds of candidates, but if you phrase it in a way and like make it very personal, they should take 15 minutes with you. For myself, like, you know, I can't guarantee myself that I'm going to be able to place anybody on this call, but I can also at least try to connect you with the right people and make introductions. I mean, that's the best way I can go about it. But if you just ask people, do the research, find those recruiters, and all you're asking for is like 15 minutes, right? I just want to introduce myself. I'm just looking for 15 minutes of time, see what kind of jobs they have. All those larger firms, they post all of their jobs on their website. Find a few of those jobs. Say, I noticed this job online on your website. Would like to learn more about it. You have 15 minutes. Does that answer your question? I don't know if that answered your question, but that's the best way to go about getting in front of a referral or in front of a recruiter.
Okay. Yeah, I know that answers it.
Because what happens is, let's say you apply for a job through like Robert Half or Tech Systems or one of those, like they're getting like 200, 300 resumes. And usually they're kind of looking just for like the best one, the one with most experience. And then they're just kind of tossing the rest of them. If you kind of flip the script and don't apply to the job, but actually email that person, that's the best way to go about it. Don't apply to jobs, try to do an email. If you're applying directly to a company, you apply to the job, you shoot an email to their recruiting, their talent acquisition, the engineering manager, you refer to your application, say, hey, I just applied to this job. I don't know if my experience fully fits it, but I really like an opportunity, maybe just for an informational interview, just to learn more about it. I think applying to jobs, it's got to be a 3 to 4 step process, right? You apply for the job, you do an email following up, letting them know they do apply for a job, wait 2 days, shoot them another email saying, hey, I just wanted to check in on my application, wait another 2 days, shoot them another email, waiting for my, let them know, hey, I know that, you're getting a lot of applicants. I'm just trying to break in. I don't need the job. I just want to have a conversation. Sounds good. I'm going to take some time to talk to you. Like, you're obviously looking for a job. You're putting your work in. People don't put work in, right? They send one message and they just hope for the best. Stay persistent, be persistent, right? I have like 1 minute. I got to jump on another call here. Does anybody else have any other questions? So I am putting my email address into the chat box. If you want to send me your resume, send me an email, send me something, go ahead and send it over. And let me know. Let me know what you need or how you want to connect. I mean, I got time to jump on a 10, 15-minute call with anybody. But if you want help, I can't guarantee that I'm going to find you a job, but at least I can answer your questions on a more personal level and a professional level where we can do like a one-on-one and we can talk about what you're going through. Shoot me an email with your resume, and ask me for a call. I will tell you this, when you write me an email, make it like 1 or 2 sentences about what you want, right? Be succinct, be straight to the point. That's the best way to go about getting a hold of me. That's the best way to get people's attention, right? When you write long emails or you're writing something long, it's hard. It's hard to go. So, and that's for everybody when you're applying for a job, when you're trying to referral, when you're trying to do a connector, keep your messages short and succinct. My name is Michael McCormack. I am this, and this. I was wondering if we can get a little bit of time to talk. Boom, that's it. If you have a 1-sentence email, I'm going to write back to that. Oh, I don't have time, sorry, or yes, I have time. But keep everything very short when you communicate. Okay? I appreciate the time. I've got to jump on another call. If you guys shoot me an email, shoot me your resume, shoot me a note if you want to talk. I got time next week. I got, I always have time, 10, 15 minutes to do a call. So let me know.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'll send this, Kenzie, I'll send this PowerPoint to you this afternoon.
Yep, I'll put my email in here.
Okay.
So reach out to me to grab that PowerPoint so Michael doesn't get totally flooded. And it's Kenzie@learncodinganywhere.com. It is in the chat box. If you received an email like through Meetup or Eventbrite about this event, you can respond to that and that will get to my inbox as well. So shoot me an email. I can pass that slideshow along. Thanks to everybody that attended. Next week, we're going to be having one of our Tech Academy graduates, Lindsay Wardell, talking about, again, the importance of side projects and networking. And she is going to be showing how she used her side project throughout her boot camp and beyond to kind of build a portfolio, and then now has opportunities to engage with the community through podcasting and other social media outlets. So come check that out. That'll be really cool, a little bit different approach to networking than we discussed today. Reach out to me by email if you need anything in the meantime. And thanks so much for being here.
Thanks all.
It's not allowing me to exit the class.